What's up, YouTube land? We're finally gonna finish. I forget which part number this is, but it's definitely in the 30s.
42?
42? God dang. And it's time. It's time to finish this.
So when I did this 30 minutes ago, I absolutely annihilated Sephiroth, so I can't wait to job to him 5 times in a row because of
course.
his dog.
I just got done with, literally 5 minutes ago, got done with all the legendary bouts. I won't be able to talk about Rebirth anymore because on brutal legendary ones. So I won't be able to talk about Rebirth anymore. So just assume all I have left to do is to beat the game on hard mode, which is just the last 3 chapters, and do all the solo legendary bouts. And I'm done. I decided I was gonna try to get all your companions up to 100%. I'm so burned out on this game. I can't. So I just want the plat. I am literally following guides on YouTube for every one of the legendary bouts because, what am I gonna do? A Kate Sith one by myself? Get out of here. I'm sure it's fun and silly, but no way. So hey, here we are. I'm curious to see if this sit-down will be 2 parts. Usually I break them up once they get to about 40 minutes, so if this fight plus the ending is less than 35 minutes, then it'll be 1 part. I'm very curious. But yeah, we're ready to be done. I mean, this game came out in early March.
What?
Holy crap!
He died in 1 hit.
So yeah, this game came out in early March, and it's literally September. It's like September 1st today, so it's like, holy crap.
You gotta be kidding me. He still ain't dead.
You gotta watch this whole thing again? Well, I don't think it's super long, but...
We only get to see it 5 more times.
Yay! What's our next, Oh no, I know what our next long-form game is. It's, Link Between Worlds.
Yep.
Which will probably maybe struggle to get done by the time that SH2 comes out.
Yeah, it's not going to be super long.
We have about 5 weeks from today. Because I think Silent Hill 2 is October 8th. Which is crazy, because I haven't heard a single person in real life mention that at SH2, and it's literally 5 weeks away. We have some pre-orders, but over the past month, I haven't heard anyone be like, I'm excited for it.
I just think all the hype vanished once they actually showed gameplay.
Pretty
it just
much.
Looks bad.
Yeah. Well, we're doing it day 1. It doesn't matter what day that is. I guess it'll probably be a Friday. I'm coming home from work and making a special... I usually am super tired on Fridays, but we're starting the LP on that Friday. We're doing it. Yeah. I still don't quite get... Not that I don't get, but... Prime mode is really odd for me, just the way he moves and everything. It's very odd, so I still don't quite get the hang of it. I wouldn't say get it, I don't quite get the hang of it. Sephiroth. I hope that Square Enix, and I know Trevor's really focusing, so I'm just going to talk about things I'm thinking about with this series. I hope they really pay attention to, the fans in general. Because on YouTube, every single time I've watched a video on any one of the challenges, every single comment is, man, I love this game, but these challenges are absolutely absurd. And I honestly don't know how you're supposed to beat some of them without spamming Brumal form.
I'm being too aggressive.
But what
you really want to do is that once he does that stuff, you want to actually break his wing or the Mazamune, because he'll get staggered and enter a phase where you can do a lot of easy damage and his stagger goes way up, and yeah, I'm just being a little bit too aggressive.
So are you actually going to attack the wing?
Yeah, you just have to use Forager or something and they'll die with it.
Okay.
And once that happens, then he'll get weaker, he'll get pressured, And once you do like normal attacks on him, he'll like get like hard stunned. And I really just have to do it like once or twice.
Does his wing come back after you break it? Okay. But yeah, a lot of the comments I've been reading is pretty much like, I came for the Final Fantasy, I did not stay for the Dark Souls. And I'm like, I get it. I mean, hard mode has been fun, but it is like, I don't know. I'm just not at a stage in life where I want to fight the same fight 20 times. There are many, many, many people out there that absolutely love that. That I'm not at that stage of life, so hopefully they listen.
I like the challenge, and it is literally cold hard mode.
I know.
I do hope that they have some quality of life stuff.
That would be nice. Good Lord, Sephi. Ba, 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 ba. Swift cast.
So that's really what you want to do.
That makes a lot of sense. Wicked argument, bro. Sephiroth, you just did that like 5 minutes ago.
Of course.
Do you have raise? Oh, okay. So it's immune to normal attacks, huh? I kind of love how he attacks in prime mode.
Okay. Sephiroth really hates Aeris right now.
He's walking to her like he's Michael Myers or something. And I'm guessing the main goal of this fight is to have a Faraga ready for when he does that part where the whispers like close in on you at the end. Makes sense. Or like limit, I guess. I made that mistake twice. Not very smart of me.
So doing a limit break in the middle of that makes me immune to
I've seen
that damage.
I've seen that on the solo legendary battles that's something that people suggest doing. Like if there's like an area of effect attack that you can't get away from, that you use your limit break then. And I'm like, that's very smart actually.
Okay. Not die. Okay, I do have a move. No, you piece of crap.
Oh my god. End time.
Just randomly I was in the middle. It's just because Prime Mode is kind of... It's very automated. Like, all you really have to do is just, like, hold down square, and if you're far away, he'll, like, automatically dash. But it's nice in the moment, but a lot of times when you're, like, getting into the middle of an attack, it can really screw you over.
So the final cutscene started at 7:06. So I'll write that down just so I don't forget.
We missed it, but Sephiroth was clearly displeased with whatever happened, which is like the first time
Yes.
in the entire
No,
series
I saw that.
so
I saw
far
that. Yeah.
that, like, I guess his plans didn't go to fruition.
Yeah, that may be the first time we actually saw him, like, scowl.
He, like, scowled one time, and then immediately he's just like, duh, doesn't count.
Yeah. His whole thing has just been, like...
Whoa! Censor that, dude.
His whole thing has just been looking at Cloud and being like, I have the advantage, Cloud. That's been the entire thing, like, the look on his face. Like that smirk. Heh, kid.
He's been gaslighting Cloud the entire game.
That's also true.
Also, I know that the final boss being Cloud and Aeris versus Sephiroth is kind of cool, but talk about tonal whiplash. You go from Aeris dying in like a convoluted way to her showing up 20 minutes later to fight Sephiroth. It's like, what am I supposed to feel?
Right. I think they want you to almost feel like a Marvel movie where, like, a character, like, fakes death and comes back. Although we don't know if she fakes death.
Yeah, we still have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll watch the last cutscene, but it's like very clearly the rest of the team cannot see Aeris.
Right.
But the one thing that happens is that when Aeris touches Red 13, Red 13 it like actually like responds. Like he doesn't know that she's there. But, like, he says, like, Aeris? Like, feels her through the live stream or something? So...
And that's pretty cool because animals, you know, feel stuff different than humans, so...
So I just think my theory right now is that Aeris is dead in the Rebirth timeline. She's actually dead. But she's alive in another timeline, and because of the specific way that Cloud entered the last battle, he was the only one to go through the White Whisper Wall. And he was in a different, like, world for a bit while the rest of the team were fighting, like, Sephiroth Reborn when he transferred over to another world. So I think, like, Cloud's mind is, like, stuck between two worlds at once, which is why he's, like, so delusional by the end. Anyway, that's just the theory.
All I have to say, when Cloud stands over and then kneels down on Aeris, is he should have been the one to fill her dark soul with light! Devil May Cry 1 reference, baby. DMC 3, when? Did we do DMC 2? I kind of forget.
No, I'm not doing that game.
I know, it's not very fun.
I know that it would be kind of funny, but that game is, like, the worst type of bad.
It also seems long. I mean, it's 2 discs, so it seems pretty long, too.
It's the worst type of bad because it's just boring.
Yeah.
It's not funny bad.
It's like Dino Crisis 3.
Yeah.
Just boring bad.
That's another one that I dropped because it's just boring.
Just boring, yeah.
It's not, like, egregiously... Like, you get, like, the initial, like, funny factor of being like, oh, it's in space and there's dinosaurs that look like they're rotting or something and they're, like, phase shifting. It's like, this is so stupid. But after, like, 5 minutes, you're like, oh, this game's just bad.
Yeah, it's not like some of the other bad games I've played on here, like Kuon, where you're like, okay, at least it's constantly ridiculously Japanese, or like White Day, a labyrinth called School, where it's just very silly.
Yeah. One game I want to do someday, probably not for a long time, but I do want to do a Deadly Premonition LP, because I know Spenser gave up on that game, like, immediately.
I did.
But when you know what's going on, and you can just cut out the filler, that game is very funny.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I don't know.
It is one of those,
tell...
like, it's like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
It is, like, a boring game. But I do think it has, like... Yeah, it's just a really funny game.
I think I think I can tell that a game like that, it's either a 3 out of 10 game wrapped inside of a 7 out of 10 game, or the opposite. A 7 out of 10 game wrapped in a 3 out of 10 game. Like, it's you know, it's not good. It's not a well-made game, but there's so many things that you're like, this is awesome. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like that very much. One of those type of games that I don't think I'll ever get around to doing. I'm very glad. They came out around the same time. Alan Wake was supposed to be kind of like Deadly Premonition when they were first making it. It was supposed to be like semi-open world, and I'm so glad that they did not go that route. Like, you were just supposed to be able to just like randomly go around Bright Falls.
Eris?
And no thanks. Hey, girl.
I'll see you off.
Another theory that I see sometimes is that Eris is like, just like a vision of Cloud.
Yeah,
like
I mean, Cloud
Sephiroth,
is literally Schizo. Like he just is.
Sephiroth, like, just altering his mind because Sephiroth and Genova genes. The worst theory I saw was that this new Eris is Genova. It's like, how does that work?
That sounds stupid. Has Genova ever been able to like show up as other things? I don't think so.
She can disguise herself, but we've never really seen it specifically.
Yeah. Tifa's like, well, no more love triangle. Come here, Cloud. Yeah, like, how would you put yourself in their shoes, like, hypothetically this is real. Like, your friend just passes away violently, or even non-violently, and your one friend's like, hey, you want to go see blah, blah, blah? And you're like, I'm sorry, what? And they're like, she's right here, dude. I'd be like, oh, man. We need to literally take this person to a mental institution, like, today. They're right here, bro.
I definitely do think that they're going to do some sort of, like, total mind break Cloud thing. I do think that Cloud is going to be incapacitated in Part 3, just like he was in original FF7. Probably literally wheelchair bound because it happened in the original. But I just don't think it's going to happen with the catalyst of him being like, I'm Zack. Like, they play that card way too much in this game. Like, Cloud literally remembers Zack's name. And, like, he fought with him in the end. If they go the route of, like, Cloud's mind breaks because he thinks he's Zack, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Maybe Glenn with 2 N's will have a big part in it.
No, Glenn's, like, ends here. Do you remember this?
I do not remember this. I probably put it out of my mind.
In Glenn's game, whatever it's called, Ever Crisis, I think, Rufus shoots Glenn in the back at the very end. So, like, him showing up in this game, if he ever played Ever Crisis, was like, how does that work? He should be dead. But now we understand why.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from this ending is the scene...
Sephiroth going.
Yeah, the only thing that I remember from this ending is the final scene.
I have no idea why Sephiroth is assuming Glenn's... I guess Sephiroth does know Glenn. I guess he's just doing it to mess with Rufus's mind, just like Cloud.
But Rufus doesn't have Genova cells? Isn't that the whole reason Sephiroth's able to mess with Cloud, because he has Genova cells?
Sephiroth can just do whatever he wants at this point.
I'm just trying to make sense of a Kingdom Hearts storyline, essentially.
But, like, Sephiroth does show up in front of the other members, and they know that he's there.
Alright.
I think he can make the Sephiroth clones look like Sephiroth to everyone. And I think he just, like, manipulates their physical form.
But early on in the game, before you face the Midgar Zolom...
Yes, but, like...
no one else sees Sephiroth
That's
there.
Specifically so Sephiroth can mess with Cloud's mind. He can probably do that because he has Genova cells. But Sephiroth shows up at the end of the Temple of the Ancients wanting to... the Black Materia, and everyone sees him. And they fight Sephiroth at the end of Part 1. Like, they can see him.
Alright, here's a question.
Which is why I just really don't care. Sephiroth is, like, all-powerful. He has his own...
I know, but I like the in-universe stuff to make somewhat sense. You know? Like, makes it mean more to me.
Yeah.
Rather
But
than just being like, Sephiroth can do whatever. he
as
wants.
of right now, Sephiroth can show up physically in front of everyone that's not just Cloud, because
Right.
they already showed it in this game.
Right. All right, here's a question. So Glenn just said, right in the back, just like old times. Here's a question for Trev. What percentage of people who finished this game even understood that
It
reference?
had to be like 0.01%.
You didn't, right? Like, the
I
only
had no
reason you
idea.
did it is because you looked it up. Like, after, right? Like, you looked it up after you beat the game.
I think I looked up who Glenn was the first time I saw him at Junon.
Okay. So you'd specifically have to be like... You'd have to know that he was a character in a previous game, or else, I guess be interested enough to do your own research on the character. I was going to say 5%, but I think I was being way too kind on that. 1 out of 20 people who beat this game played or know about Ever Crisis.
It's 0.1% at the very max.
So why would they put that in there?
Because they have no restraint over there.
Like
They do the most crazy stuff. Like, it's not specifically Final Fantasy, but like Kingdom Hearts 3 was a game that everyone wanted for like 20 years,
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
And Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and it was this hodgepodge of every single sideline game, and it even referenced stuff from like the mobile gacha game
Insane.
as main plot material. If you don't know the phone game, you have no idea who the Master of Masters is. It's like that's like the level of like, and in reality, the Rebirth or the remake trilogy so far has shown a lot of restraint. It does have a lot of like extended universe stuff like Vice and Deep Ground and Nero and Glenn from Ever Crisis, but it could have been a million times worse.
These graphics look so freaking good. Like, this is absurd.
It is just a pre-rendered FMV. It looks good.
And,
For sure.
Nice catch.
Eris.
dang, I was gonna say something I completely
What Aerith
forgot.
actually do anyway? Well. And with that, we are
I can't believe
cleared
Glenn
for
is only in
takeoff.
this game.
Finally.
I was getting ready to play as him.
It's not fair.
Did we ever do... I swear we didn't do the, you know that Eris date thing? Where you, like, you go around and, like, you pick, like, candy and do, like, the photo shoot? Did we not do that? Do I specifically have to do, like, intimate relationship Eris as the partner to actually do that?
Probably.
That's a little disappointing.
I mean, I don't care. We did Yuffie, which is the
Yeah.
funniest.
But there's a lot of lore in that, explaining like the multiverse stuff, and I would have ragged on it.
Ah.
But that's surprising that they completely drop it if you don't have it as...
The hell?
Well, it's... Oh, no, I guess it could not be Eris your first time through.
Yeah, but like, that's a pretty extended, like,
The reunion.
the reunion.
Probably my biggest... just to finish up on the subject, my biggest problem with media nowadays, any media, is they don't leave characters dead generally, and they are doing all this dumb multiverse stuff. That's a big reason why, like, there are certain comics I love, stuff like
Don't
Walking
look up.
Dead and Spawn and stuff like that. But like your big comics that have been going for like 100 years, they're just like, hey, Spider-Man's dead. JK, new series, Spider-Man's alive.
Get to me.
Hey, Batman's dead. JK, new
not
series,
real.
Batman's alive. Like there's no finality to
Now
it.
let's go get Steph.
And like from
He's hiding up
a
north.
business standpoint, it makes perfect sense. Like what are you gonna be like? No more Spider-Man ever. We don't want to make money.
He is.
But it makes everything just kind of lame. Like not to beat a dead horse, but Marvel was doing it a lot where, like, in the same movie, like, a long-standing character would quote-unquote die, and then they would just show up again 15 minutes later, like, actually, because of this reason, I'm still alive, and it's like, okay.
They just want they just want easy access to nostalgia books.
Just remember, we got
I mean,
everything
the
right.
reality of before like this became super mainstream is that they would just reboot universes. It's like if Batman or Joker died in like one story, they can just revive them and then do a reboot of everything.
Right.
But I think that they don't want to do that because nostalgia like sells tickets, and everything made nowadays is like not memorable or cool enough because every new writer is a hack.
One thing I've been really disappointed in every limited run show or show with a couple seasons I've watched recently is how bad the endings have been. I watched 3 shows in the past, I don't know, couple months, and each of them had like ungodly bad endings. There's a show called Evil, there's a show called Your Honor with Bryan Cranston, and a show I just watched on Netflix, A Man in Full.
Don't worry.
And like, you can put out an ending where you're like, okay, I see where they're going. But some of these are like, did you run out of money while filming the final scene? And just was like, what? Like this final one was about a real estate tycoon, A Man in Full. Spoilers, but it's the dumbest thing ever. Like the show's good, but the ending's dumb. And I was like, oh, they're gonna do like another season or whatever. It's about a real estate guy who is like just kind of losing his grip on reality, right? Like the bank comes in and is like, you owe us literally $1 billion, and we're gonna start like fighting you down for it. And then his like life crumbles, right? Like it's a pretty cool story. Like it's a good idea for a story. And it literally ends where he walks in on his nemesis having relations with his ex-wife, and he grabs his nemesis and starts choking him. And the guy has a heart attack and dies. And in doing that, also kills the nemesis while choking him. And that's the end. And there was never anything during the show where they're like, hey, old man, watch your ticker because you're going to have a heart attack if you get too mad. There was nothing like that. It was literally nothing. And then just out of nowhere, it's like, I'm mad at you. I'm angry. I had a heart attack and died. It's like, how could you literally have a worse ending than that?
They probably literally did just run out of time.
They probably actually run out of money. That's the only thing that makes sense.
So rewatching the FMV for the first time in 6 months, I'm pretty convinced that Cloud is split between 2 worlds because he mentions don't look up in the sky because there's the sky is ripping apart, which was present in Zack's world. It basically means that the world is over. And everyone else looked up and they're like, I have to look now, and no one saw anything other than him. So I'm 100% convinced that's what they're going to do next.
18 minutes,
game.
by the way. Less than I thought. From the beginning of the end cutscene to the end. I legitimately thought it was like 30 minutes or so.
Alright, so we're finally done with this LP. I mean, we did a lot of Rock Band during it. We didn't do it every single week.
Yeah.
We probably could have done it in like 4 months if we did it every single month, or every week. But we're finally done. Gonna focus on other games.
I mean, I can tell you as someone who's finally finishing this game that like Trevor couldn't just on hard mode just like sit down and be like, hey, I'm gonna play this part. Like you specifically have to set up your materia for like each boss. Like it's very specific.
I did that the entire playthrough. I mean, you just saw me having a billion like pre-made saves right before bosses, and you just have to do it.
That's just so it's not one of those things where he's like, let's even somewhat casually go through. Like you have to it would either be what he did, or every time we got to a boss, he'd be like, okay, I need 5 minutes to change my materia setup. It's literally what it'd be. And he'd probably have to have it like written down ahead of time and everything.
So part 3, just more quality of life for materia switching, because they're still going to do the thing where they're going to splinter off the teams. I can see it in my head right now, the specific moments they're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And just more quality of life of switching, like, just have, like, mappable or, like, programmable, like, sets, where it's, like, you have the Cetron armlet and the ribbon as the accessory, and then you have all this materia setup. Just let me do that, dude. Fix the game so much.
25% less things to do, especially if the game is even bigger. Like, having every section having, like, 40 things to check off the list is just a bit much.
Yeah, they're still going to do open world, obviously, but they're not going to... I really hope that they don't do the thing where it's like, find the mana life spring and 1 out of 4 checklist. There's way too much redundancy and just like checklist making.
Right.
Because every single zone had like 4 mana life springs. Man, it's been so long that I'm like drawing a blank now. But like every single world was exactly the same.
Right. Yeah, you always have the divine things you have to find. You have the life spring things you find. You have to fight 5 different enemies, and you have to fight all those to unlock the last enemy.
Oh, yeah, and you have the stupid monster intel stuff.
Right. Right. It's just too much. And then I do like. I hope they have something along the lines of the what was that Gilgamesh thing? It's been a while since I did it. The pieces you pick up of like the armlet. Shoot, it's literally been like a couple months.
Proto relic?
Yeah, proto relic. The proto relics were fun because that was a unique thing in each one. But like, it got to the point where getting to a new area, you just booted up the menu or the map, and it was like 0 out of 40 things done, and it's like, dude,
no Ubisoft towers, please,
Yeah.
no Ubisoft towers.
Yeah.
Getting to an Ubisoft tower and then activating it, and then it shows like 3 or 4 of the same checklist stuff. Just make the open world more. No Ubisoft towers, less checklist.
Yep.
You can still have it, but just make it
Sure.
more fun.
Yeah. Oh, I mean the open. I will say I prefer this game to FF7 Remake overall. FF7 Remake is almost too linear. In fact,
yeah.
it is too linear.
I definitely like Rebirth better than
Yeah.
Remake.
So this is just us. If Square was like, you know, give us an opinion on this game, what can we do to get better? That's definitely it. Oh my
No
God.
Ubisoft towers.
No Ubisoft towers.
More quality of life materia switching. That's really the only 2 big things
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
Because I like the battle system. I know that
Yep.
like hard mode, you have to have very specific things to not get PTFO, but I'm fine with it. And Rebirth introduced perfect parries, so you could feasibly do like a low level no materia run if you're good enough. So I do like perfect parries as like upping the skill ceiling. Obviously I suck at them, but for people that are good, they can go into like the legendary cloud bout, do its solo cloud and not get hit once because it just perfect parry everything. So that's a good thing. But yeah, just quality of life stuff, please.
Just, and like I said, 25% less of everything. Like, I did all the Chocobo races. I don't know if it's something you needed to do to get the Platinum. I kind of forget. But, like, legitimately, there were, like, way too many Chocobo races, as an example. Take 25... there might have been, like, 16, 18 races. So just take 25% of it off. Make, like, 8 or 10 races, right?
Also make the mini games more fun. Like, some of them are okay, but Gears and Gambits was trash.
Yeah.
The Cactar one, who likes that minigame? The planet as Yuffie is like okay.
Especially on hard mode, especially that they picked Eris.
They picked Eris on hard mode for that stupid or Cactar thing. Just get rid of the trash like that.
I don't mind. By the way, that beginning part where Zack saves everyone, is that in a different universe? Is that... Or did that actually...
Yes, that takes place in Zack's universe.
In Zack's universe, that's right. So that's... Yeah, that...
And he doesn't...
I kind of forgot about that because we haven't seen it for, like, a long time.
Everyone in that universe is, like, literally dead. Cloud and Eris are both, like, comatose, it seems like.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing was that in Zack's universe, the Holy Materia, I think, was full. And in the Rebirth universe, I think the Holy Materia was blank. They'll probably answer my questions for that in part 3.
And for anyone out there who's like, stop complaining about having too much stuff. If you're gonna make a game and have, you know, the Platinum be do X, Y, and Z, I would rather it be do just X and Y and be more fun than X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, whatever kind of thing. Because in order to get the Platinum and all the Johnny trophies and everything, you pretty much do have to do everything.
Also, that's why I just don't like open world game design that much, because it has a lot of stuff in quotation marks, but the stuff is literally just copy and pasted. There's like 6 Ubisoft towers per area. You have to get the 4 mana crystals. You have to do the summon ritual things. You have to do the proto relic mini game. Like, every world is exactly the same. And if people consider doing Ubisoft towers in this game as content, your opinion is wrong.
Right. I will say, as another positive, upon thinking about it, I do like a lot of the mini games, even the silly ones like in Costa del Sol, when you have to do that like shooting pirate mini game. Like that's really fun. Yeah. That's silly. That's fun.
Other things, Queen's Blood is god tier.
Queen's Blood is great. I do hope that'll come back for sure.
Queen's Blood, like I like collecting the cards for Triple Triad more, but Queen's Blood is the way better game.
Oh, not even close.
So Queen's Blood, more of that, please.
I mean, Triple Triad is only fun when you don't have a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
Like, imagine having fun with Triple Triad with random elemental plus minus. I mean, it's not. You would just constantly be loading your saves. Also, the fact that you can lose in Queen's Blood and not lose your cards is pretty nice, because otherwise you would, again, just have to constantly just reload your saves.
I also really hope that they... I like most of the mini games in this game, but I really hope they don't bring back the Fort Condor again. I know it was kind of downgraded in this game because it's the mini game of Junon, where you are like Barrett and Tifa and Cloud are all like transported into there, and then you have the little like figures. But Fort Condor, it was already in Interlude, and this game, just don't bring it back, please.
I don't mind the mini games that are just like very short and silly and clearly stealing off other games. That one where you play as a frog, I've never played the game, but apparently that is like just a straight up steal off of Fall Guys, I think, or something like that.
It's pretty similar, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I don't mind that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
As long as it's a small little mini game, like the frog thing was cute. You know, you do it once on normal, once on hard mode, and I'm like, that's cool. I don't mind that. So like, if they even want to do something where they're like, or even the Gold Saucer event square where you do the shooting stuff, the rail shooting stuff. That's fun. You know, not too ridiculously difficult too. But yeah, if you ever wonder like, why do games cost so much? We've been sitting here talking for like 5 minutes while names constantly scroll, just constant.
Yeah.
Right? And these are all paid people that hopefully make, you know, decent money, but that's 20 3D artists alone. That's just 3D artists. Oh wait, and not including different ones like animators and environments and all that. So this game has budget. Yeah. This game has ridiculous budget.
And I really hope that they re-release Rebirth and it does like good sales on PC, so they don't get like a neutered budget from Part 3.
Yeah,
that's sort of my biggest worry about, because this game didn't sell that well. I mean, it's still like shipped a couple million units, but it's
top
like
10 on the PS5 though. But as we talked about, people don't buy PS5 games, but still.
It's just like, you're looking at all the stuff, like a couple million units, like that's like, you know, 200, 300 million revenue. But if the budget was 150 million,
right,
it's not a huge return. Anyway, we're done.
Oh yeah. We'll finish this off. We said everything we needed to over like a 5-month time span.
I'll probably do Part 3 when it releases in 4 years.
Do you think there's going to be another Final Fantasy game, like mainline, before that?
I think they said that they're just working. They're not going to do like a Rebirth interlude or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
I think they're just going to do...
Well, you know how 16 came out after FF7 Remake.
I have no idea. Mainline Final Fantasy is like such a... I have no idea what's going to happen. Anyway, signing off.
Hey, let's end with the best character. It's me! It's Dine!
Oh, yeah.
The best character!
One of the biggest... I think the two biggest missteps of this game is having a bunch of whispers during the Aeris death scene and Dine's character assassination. So...
It was bad. But beyond that... Okay, and very last thing, I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10. I do still very much like it. I think it's very good. But it does have some errors that would definitely not make it to a 9 for me.
I really like this game. This game has a lot of flaws, but I'd give it like a 9 for me.
Hey, I'm being more hardcore for once. That like never happens. Alright guys, we'll see you next time. Obviously, we recommend this game, and we'll see you in 4 years for Reunion.
Can't be Reunion because Crisis Cruise.
No!
Even though it's the perfect subtitle.
It's the perfect name!
And also makes no sense for prices for it. Anyway, bye.
Bye.